So it's dessert week and I'll be showing you how to make your very own Tulumbe at home. So picture a beautiful crunchy exterior with a soft and juicy syrup-filled center, which is really fluffy. You can't go wrong with these sugar syrup fingers and I hope you enjoy. So start off by making your sugar syrup. Now I would recommend making this first thing in the morning so you allow it to completely cool before you need to use it. Bear in mind, if it's even slightly warm, it will wreck the soaking process. So here you've only added your sugar and your water, and you'll allow this to boil for approximately 30 minutes until there's no sugar visible anymore and it just becomes a clear liquid. Now for the dough, you'll be mixing your water, oil and salt together and bringing that to boil. Once it's completely brought to a boil, you're going to add in your dry ingredients and make sure you sift those through. And you're going to keep it on the heat until it's completely combined. And then once you see there's no more rough flour bits, then you can turn it off the heat and continue mixing to make sure you've got no lumps and that it's evenly mixed. Once it's completely mixed, transfer it into another bowl, and the reason for doing this is you want to remove it from your pan, which is already quite hot, so it's going to help the cooling down process before we add in the eggs. So on top of putting it in a new bowl, I actually smooth it out and sort of spread it out along the outer edges of the bowl. This will help it cool a lot quicker. Once it's cooled and it's warm to the touch, you can go ahead and put your mixer on. Now traditionally this is done by hand, you can do so, it's just a lot easier with your mixer, and you're going to be adding one egg in at a time, but make sure you've thoroughly mixed it and it's completely combined before you add in your next egg. So once that's finished, you can see you've got almost like a very thick paste, and you're going to be scraping that off and getting it ready to put into your piping bag. Now when it comes to piping, size is of personal preference. So traditionally these are made a lot thicker in the slatkanitse. However, I prefer finger sort of size ones because I like the ratio of crunchy exterior to soft filling versus the big fat sort of version of them. But it's totally up to you. Both ways is fine. There is a little bit of a different cooking process when it comes to the size, but I'll go through that in the next step. So go ahead, put your oil to heat now that your piping bags are ready to set, and you can add your lemon juice at this step into your sugar syrup, but this is optional. If you don't like lemon, you don't have to worry about it. I just prefer the tang that sort of gives you a bit of a kick when you have them. Your oil is completely hot, you can start frying them, so dip your scissors in the oil to make it easier to cut. However, bear in mind that if you're cooking them with the finger thinner version, you need the high heat and they'll cook a lot quicker and still cook through the center. But if you're using a thicker nozzle tip, you will have to cook these on a medium to high heat just because you want to make sure that the dough internally is actually cooked properly. Now you'll keep cooking those batch after batch until you've completely fried off all your dough, but remember, as soon as they're golden brown, take them out, dunk them in the cold syrup and leave them in there for 5 minutes before transferring them through to your serving dish or a glass container if you want to store these in a fridge. And there you go, homemade Tulumbe in next to no time. Hope you enjoy. Be sure to subscribe and also add us on Instagram if you wanted to see more updates and tips and tricks.